The Fiend's
Yeah, I'm saying, what match? It wasn't a match. It literally was, all right, I'm Fiend Supernatural, the guy who, like a year ago or early this year, no, a couple of months ago when I beat Seth Rollins for the title, I was horror man and stuff, but
Yeah.
Super Goldberg comes in, just spears me, and does a awkward looking jackhammer to beat me.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man who can't lose in Saudi Arabia because kids think I'm a superhero, Kyle Charles, and
Bret Hart's favorite wrestler, CY Chong.
And today, we thought, hey, Goldberg's been quite a controversial topic at the moment due to the Vice show Who Killed WCW, and Goldberg's featured in, I think, the first 2 episodes quite a lot. So we thought, hey, let's talk about the man who single-handedly saved WCW for a point.
Well, look, here's the thing, right? He is a positive and a negative in certain respects.
Yeah.
It did help them, and he had intensity, and he had ring presentation and stuff. His in-ring ability, is suspect. Right?
Yeah,
well, no. Actually, we'll go through it because he does get better. I don't think he starts particularly. It's like when Ken Shamrock was coming from UFC to wrestling.
Yeah.
And what is kayfabe? But Goldberg coming straight in, and he was stiffing people. So
yeah, which I like. I think we'll get more into it later, but I think that was kind of their fault.
Yes.
Rather than his.
In fact, because you're gonna start about the power plant, right?
Oh, you're gonna say first getting so do you remember seeing your first ever Goldberg? When you first saw Goldberg, what do you think? Goldberg, what do you first think of him?
Well, back when I was catching back up with wrestling, it was in the middle of 1998 already.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I thought at that point, Stone Cold, yes, Goldberg.
Yeah.
This guy looks exactly like Stone Cold.
Yeah.
But and it's just like WCW are copying WWF.
Yeah.
So I didn't rate Goldberg that much. However, as I look back to it, what he did and how they presented him and stuff like that, it's he's actually cool.
Yeah.
And then later on after that, you're like, Goldberg, you got
Yeah. Because I was the same, because I think because this would have been because he debuted right early 97, right?
Late 96, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and so I was watching WCW this time because it was on TNT, and TNT started after Cartoon Network, so I was watching WCW this time. And I remember first seeing Goldberg, I was like, oh, okay, he seems pretty cool. I didn't automatically think they're kind of copying Stone Cold Steve Austin with him, because Stone Cold was the anti-authority guy, always talking, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And Goldberg kind of was the opposite at first. I was like, oh, okay, cool. They're trying to make some unstoppable dude. And more and more matches I watched him, I was like, oh yeah, I kind of starting to like this guy. But even as a kid, when they sort of put the US title on him, I thought that's a bit early.
Yeah. I have to say, actually, I probably got more presentation of Goldberg from the games.
Yeah.
The NWO World Tour, WCW NWO World Tour, and WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah,
he was cool in the game.
He wasn't in World Tour.
Was he in the World Tour? I can't remember.
No. Because I remember that. Because there wasn't that much time difference between World Tour and Revenge. But then we remember World Tour was just a reskin of...
Yeah, with Red Sting.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I mean, I just remember there's certain characters who didn't have a lot of moves, so you could grapple and then you press the B button and do the strikes instead. You had the 6 strikes to chain and then a move at the end or something like that.
Yeah.
So people like Goldberg, who didn't have a lot of moves, could have all the button combinations without needing to reprogram everything or not be like that character.
Yeah.
Even though even though later, like SmackDown versus Raw and stuff, games like that, John Cena had moves that John Cena does not do, so I had to take John Cena's character and change all the moves to brawling John Cena moves.
Yeah, because when you think about it, right, early Goldberg, they tried to make him like MMA sort of fighter, didn't? Well, prototype MMA fighter, because MMA wasn't really a thing back then. So he kind of did stand out then. But then, we'll get into because his kind of brief history. Because I know a bit about Goldberg before he became a wrestler. Like he was a American football player. I think he played for the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, all I know is that he had hair then.
He had like long hair, and he looks like a completely different person. You're like, wait, what? He was like Rick Steiner. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I think he got a career injury, so to stop him from playing American football. So then, obviously, like they kind of still do now. They're like, hey, you used to play American football. That means you're strong. You should become.
It seemed like a more WCW thing to be like, okay, you're a former athlete of some other.
Yeah.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
Come join wrestling. It's like, well, yeah, but that's not the same skill set.
No, I mean it's like not an easy transition, I guess. But
yeah.
As is proven.
Even if we've seen some American football players like Lawrence Taylor, wrestle, and boy, was that guy gassed.
Yeah, because like it kind of works with some people, because like Baron Corbin, because he was an American football player, but he also did boxing before that. He's like a Golden Glove, so he has some sort of. Not saying wrestling's fight training, but you know what I mean? It has some sort of training in that regard.
Well, I mean, it's good for the stamina. We've seen Mr. T throw punches in WrestleMania. Was it
2?
One?
I think.
2? No, which one's the one he was at Roddy Piper? There was one where he tagged with Hulk Hogan, and I can't remember that.
I can't remember if that way round. Yeah, I can't remember if that was first and second, but yeah.
He was gassed hard, right? Going to aprons, just tagging out, and then dying on the turnbuckle. And then when he had his boxing match with Piper as well, he was also dying. So
he's like, "Pity the fool, I'm the fool." Yeah. So like,
but like you say, I think some people, they have the discipline from certain other things they learn, so they know how to pace themselves.
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock would have good, if you told me, Ken Shamrock would have good stamina because he had to fight in UFC, and that could be, at that time, no rules. So the matches could go long, could go short. You never know.
Yeah.
But so having a decent, good stamina is key for him.
Yeah.
Goldberg got an injury, and depending on who's telling the story, he either went to the gym, where Lex Luger and Sting worked out, and they said you should be a wrestler, or if you're DDP telling the story, DDP met him bumped into, was it a strip club or something like that?
I think it was a strip club. Yeah, something weird. It's not weird, but something like that.
And like, you should come wrestle for it. Like,
right, okay, that explains something.
Yeah.
And then he got trained in. Well, I think he didn't train for that long either, did he?
Well, here's the thing with the I don't know if you ever watched Lou Farou's Weird Weekends.
Yeah, where he went to the power plant.
Yeah. And the Sarge. Oh, have you actually? How much have you read about? Have you read Batista's biography? Or how much do you know about?
No.
So Batista went to WCW, the power plant as well, to train.
Yeah, I heard about that recently, not like that long ago. Yeah.
Go on. What did you hear?
That he went there and they said that you never make it as a wrestler or something like that.
But that's at the end.
Oh, right.
He went there. He was saying, it was him and another guy who's about 300 plus pounds, or whatever. Yeah. And there were the other non-built the trainees. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the Sarge was like, I have beef with these two, even though the Sarge was like 5'6". Yeah.
I was about to say 5'4", but he was tiny. He was tiny.
Batista was saying he had little man syndrome.
Yeah, you could tell.
Not to say, by the way, 5'6", whatever, right? There's not the problem. The problem is when you have an issue with yourself because of that, and then you hate other people because of their genetic advantages or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say this, right? Great Khali's 7 foot plus, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want to be 7 foot plus because his knees are knackered.
Yeah.
I'm not,
Just seeing him walk, it looks painful.
Yeah. So I'm just saying there's disadvantages, but I want to go to Great Khali and try to knock him down and say, look, Great Khali, your wrestling's terrible, whatever. No. Like, man's make money.
Yeah. he's
you
killed
know,
someone, so you know.
like, he ain't great, yeah, but
he got by, yeah, you know.
Yeah. But yes, Sarge seemed to be one of those guys. This is second-hand information, so I'm not cussing the Sarge directly. But what you're gathering the information is, he didn't make it, so he kind of is taken out on other people, and I don't know if specifically he thought what was holding him back was how short he was compared to other wrestlers. But Rey Mysterio is 3.
Yeah.
Supposedly 5'6", right? But he's like 5'3" or something like that.
5'3", 5'4", lucky. Yeah.
Dean Malenko made it, and Dean Malenko is like 5'5" or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero is 5'7", I think.
Yeah.
He's 5'9", but he's probably 5'7".
Yeah. And like Chris Benoit was like 5'10".
Yeah.
So
and that's not short by any standards, but
it's not like
when you're kind of the Giants, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I will say big guys get pushed just because they're tall, and doesn't mean they're any good, like John Gonzalez or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another person we've done an episode on. Yeah. So, you know.
So the Sarge made them train until they puked and stuff like that, and then he was like, after the session, he said to them, you guys will never make it, don't ever come back, blah blah. And I don't know if it was the mentality back in those days just to make such a hostile environment that to see how dedicated someone is, just and if they come back, yes, they you know.
Yeah.
But it's like no, that's toxic.
That's toxic. Yeah.
That's terrible.
You
want the guy out, you know. Then why would he come back?
Yeah. If you crucified them and everything, like why are you gonna come back?
Yeah, he's gonna come back for more humiliation.
Yeah.
If he comes back next day and you say, oh, you know what, it was just, even then he'd be like, yeah, this guy's, you know, why would I?
Yeah, why would I come back to that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Sarge, I don't know, and let's be honest, how many power plant trainees came out and actually had careers? So
wait, I was gonna say no, AJ wasn't part of that, was he? No.
I think Goldberg was the only one. There was some like other ones, maybe Sean O'Haire and Chuck Lundberg.
They trained, but like maybe before that, and then they kind of got put there. You know, they were. I don't think they were like day one. I don't know what I said, like day one power plant guys. You know what I mean?
How many people went in and out of the system? You know, because I'm just saying that they like as much as you can say WWE, the performance there, they actually produce people.
Yeah.
They start from scratch with, you know.
Yeah.
And you got to say the Nightmare Factory as well, like, you know. But I think things have probably gotten better now because people are like, well, if we have good reputations as trainers, people will come and train with us, and therefore we will make more money.
Yeah. Not, hey, let's treat these people like crap, and then that would just show them that the wrestling world, you know, that stupid mentality, like,
yeah. I'd want to say, oh, let's give it a pass because it's 80s or 90s, whatever, right? But some people's mindsets are at the time is that, and some people think negative criticism will then produce positive results, which I'm not sure about the logic of that because that just makes kind of bitter people.
Yeah, then the cycle just continues. Yeah, it does.
I mean, you can't break the cycle. The point is to say, what logic do you hold that you think that if you continuously break someone, eventually they'll achieve greatness?
Yeah, no.
Okay, you know. Though, in some places it works, but I don't think it works because of it. I think it works in spite of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he trains with the Sarge, and then, like you said, he got hotshotted to WCW TV.
Yeah.
But look at the man, so you'd be like, fair enough.
Yeah, the look.
And I think the first match he had, he lost on the dark match. I can't remember who it was. Yeah. So the streak was negative.
Yeah.
I think he was billed as Bill Gold or something like that, or some other name that wasn't Goldberg, and then you know, then he won his next match, and then he was Bill Goldberg, and then all that started.
Yeah.
Yeah, the streak of 151.
No, I think it's 172 if I'm honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was literally watching something before we started recording that they were talking about when Nash broke the streak. It was 170 something.
Okay.
I was like, oh really?
Well, I mean WCW.
Yeah.
As they say, will inflate wins. So how accurate is it?
It's not.
You don't know.
We know that.
You know, maybe we could have beat two jobbers in one night, and therefore counts as two different matches.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was their logic. Like, oh yeah, you know, we times that by 2.
Handicap match, 2 people, but you beat 2 people, so that means 2 matches. Yes.
Yeah.
This is WCW, you know, whatever, right? Yeah. So yeah, man comes in, squashes a bunch of jobbers. In fact, he does what he does best. Come in there, spear, jackhammer.
Yeah.
Look like he would murder people.
Yeah.
Come out of the fireworks like the Terminator. Done, dusted. Turn around, and leave. You know.
Yeah, which pretty good for a while. You know.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you're like, great, that's actually really cool. He's murdering people straight up, yeah. But then after a while, you're like, is he meant to have longer matches?
Yeah.
How is he in 10 minutes plus matches? You know.
Yeah, because like the crack start of the show was when, you know, the infamous match with Regal, where Regal just tied him up and everything.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And there's 2 sides to that story.
Yeah.
From what I'm told, yeah.
Like, isn't his one? Someone told him to do it.
Regal, yeah.
And then the other story is that Regal went in for himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And then Regal's like, but why would I do that? He could cut. First of all, he's higher up the card than me. Secondly, he look at him. He could murder me. Right.
That's why I was like, I believe Regal's version that someone told him to do it.
Well, I think it was more that not told him to prank Goldberg or outclass Goldberg.
No.
Like put him in a match to try
see how he thinks on his feet.
Yeah. Well, that's that sort of thing. It's like, look, he's just been squashes and stuff like that. Try to have more of an extended match with the guy.
Yeah.
You know.
But...
and so Regal obviously is like, well, logically you think, okay, this guy doesn't have many moves.
Yeah.
So if we start chain wrestling,
he's done.
No, if we start chain wrestling, we can extend the time.
Oh yeah, or even sort of talk through the spots, like when you know the headlock. Yeah. But
yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's a lot to say on Goldberg until US title, maybe.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Yeah, where this is like, again, I was watching WCW, but not really, like somewhat religiously at this point, and I was following the whole DDP Raven feud where Raven got the US title off of DDP after they're having a feud, and there was one cool bit where DDP was on MTV and then Raven broke his interview and even flow onto a coffee table and all that stuff.
Isn't a music video with them in it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
And then, so that feud was going for a while. Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And then, apparently, from what I've heard recently, that they was going to do something else with Raven with the title and stuff and go quite big. But then I was like, hey, we all like Goldberg, right? Let's just put the title on him without even a feud with Raven.
Wasn't Chris Benoit involved in this?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't it a triple threat match that it was Raven, DDP, and Chris Benoit? And that's where Raven won the US title.
You might be right.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure. I think as much as you're saying it was between 2 of them, Chris Benoit got inserted there somewhere.
Yeah, got inserted somewhere.
Yeah. And then Raven won the US title and held it for 1 day.
Yeah.
So Goldberg could then defeat him. And this is the match where all the plot got destroyed.
Murdered, yeah.
As they are supposed to be, because they always come and interfere with Raven matches. So.
Yeah.
And for Goldberg, it's good because he could just do his signature moves on a whole bunch of people, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I think by this time, I think Perry Saturn was out of the flock, so he didn't have to take the burial. But yeah, I think he was out by that time.
This is why Raven also tried to run away, and then the fans threw him back in.
Yeah. And
then he took a spear and a jackhammer, and that was that. And I was like, Raven knows how to work around Goldberg. Put it that way,
Put it that way, but it's like, did you need to do this?
Well, did he need to win the title and destroy Raven like that? Probably not, but then WCW was booking it and not Raven.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. So you killed a possible long-going feud between DDP and Raven.
Well, they confused without the title.
Yeah, but still, the title was done like...
It was like...
Even though, like, the title was, like, the main point of that feud at that point. But, you know, okay, sure, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, okay, do you. And then... yeah, and then that's when it kind of started. I don't remember any feuds after that Goldberg was in until they decided to put world title on him as well. Because like he never had any really interactions. Actually, no, he had some interactions with like the lower NWO people, like Scott Norton.
Yeah.
Other people.
Yeah, I will say is this. Now you're absolutely right because I don't think about it. Right? I'm like, he's beating the jobbers. Yeah. Then he beats the low mid carders. Then he beats the mid carders for the mid card title, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets to the upper mid card.
Actually, I think I forgot about that. In between this as well, that was before he got into that. Then this is when Jericho was caught like doing a little side bit. He was called out.
Oh no! I think that's Goldberg. After Goldberg has the world title.
No, I think it's before.
No, it's after. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure it's after. Because Jericho had the TV title by that point, and I think that was... yeah. I'm pretty sure that was afterwards.
I thought it would have been like for the US, because then there's no way they'll have anyone TV title trying to talk to anyone who's in the world title picture.
No. It is. I'm pretty sure it's for the world title. It wasn't for the world title, but that feud was when Goldberg had the world title.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, but like you said, it's not. None of it. I want to say he had the extended feuds that were memorable, because if you're the guy being booked to win 100% of your matches, how can you have a feud?
Yeah.
Which is what, like, part of the fault of the Goldberg. I mean, yes, he comes in, Terminator, yeah, done, dusted, yeah. But then, how do you get heat on the other? How do you make someone look like Goldberg's relative equal, whatever, right? Yeah. All he can do is rise up, because he's not going to get any losses.
Yeah.
Whereas then, what happens to everyone else? You know, how do you? The feud will end with him winning, because he has to win.
He has to win, yeah. I mean, there's no way around it. Yeah.
That's the problem. It's not like, for example, how Okada is nigh undefeatable. However, he'll put people over through the matches because they're lengthy.
Yeah.
And he can be defeated.
Yeah.
On occasion, right?
It's even like the kind of Roman Reigns things. Like it like most of his matches was never like just one-sided, was it? Even though you knew he was gonna win, there was like hope spots where you think, oh, Roman's gonna lose, and then he either wins clean or shenanigans. You know what I mean? Like at least it's building that person up as well. But Goldberg, he's got like 3 moves.
Even if we're gonna compare to someone else who has an undefeated streak that was longer than Goldberg's, our lady Asuka.
Yeah.
Anytime she had her NXT matches where you're like, all right, they all look like viable contenders. Even even when you're like, nah, I ain't gonna win, right? She gave them enough that they looked like they had a chance.
Yeah.
Whereas Goldberg, nah, I ain't getting paid by the hour, mate.
No. He gets paid for the 3 moves he does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Which is like, I want to say is nothing's. You don't remember a lot. All you remember is spear, jackhammer.
As I'm saying, like literally, he on his way to these titles. I don't remember him having any prolongated feud with anyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even when we get to the world title bit, it's just like they come out randomly on like, was it a Nitro or the pay-per-view night before? Was like, yeah, by the way, on Monday Goldberg will be taking on Hulk Hogan for the.
No, he's gonna fight Horace Hogan. I think it was Horace Hogan first, then Scott Hall, and then Hogan. So he had 3 matches in one night. Yeah,
but they announced that on a day, like, okay, that's when Hogan came on the big show. Yeah, he has to face these people, blah blah blah, before he can do me. But I was like, but again, this is something. Even to this day, everyone says, why don't you put on a pay-per-view, which made more sense. But like, at least before this, it would have some interaction, right? So then, you know, it would make more sense.
So from what I'm from the background that I'm hearing is that show sold out, and Hogan was on it. So he's like, yeah, I sold out that show, even though he booked himself on it after it sold out. Buy tickets or whatever, right? So he wanted to be like responsible for the draw. But then even if you're going to do something like that, when you'd be like, okay, let's from this point, let's build towards the pay-per-view, because you've probably got 4 weeks or whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the start of the month, let's say even if it was 2 weeks, because you had the middle of the month, right? Yeah. Whatever, wherever it was, yeah. At least you could do something, you know. But man chooses nah. WCW got a good ticket gate. I'm gonna I'm gonna look good to the boys because I'm gonna job to this jabroni here.
Yeah.
Not jabroni. I'm gonna job to this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the wrong time, Hogan. That's the time you should have played the politics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, you choose to use your politics cards in weird situations like this. Like,
I mean, did it benefit Hogan? Not particularly, but where? Yeah.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah, because he would have been like made much more money if it went on to a pay-per-view, but maybe he didn't want to job to Goldberg on a pay-per-view, even though he was like, I'm going to job on live TV, which has more eyes. But...
Yeah, and he gets less money for the company, but yeah, sure, all right, cool.
Yeah, Hogan gets paid whatever Hogan gets paid because he's got some stupid contract, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, because even the two matches to precede that match was like kind of like the only one, even Scott Hall match, and like Scott Hall could make anyone look great because he did he made Goldberg look great, but it was like there was never one minute like I think Hall's gonna win this. I mean, literally like Goldberg's gonna win.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, maybe Goldberg, so he's gonna be a double champion. Does he defend them both at the same time? Which would be awkward because this man never loses. So unless he gets in triple threat matches or four ways, whatever. Yeah. You know. But no, he just vacates the US title. I was like, oh, okay. I mean. Sure. I guess it's logical.
Yeah. But it's one of the weird things.
The Ultimate Warrior did when he had the Intercontinental and World titles. So
yeah, it's one of those weird things in wrestling where they choose when to use that and when not to use that. You know what I mean? Like,
well, Jay Lethal didn't he defend the Ring of Honor TV title and the World title both at the same time? Not at the same time, on the same pay-per-view in two different matches.
Yeah.
For an extended period as well.
Yeah. And I think that's when Roddy beat him for one. I can't remember. It was something like that. Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was something like that because he was It was champ at one point. Yeah.
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 And then the next thing I recall of Goldberg is his match with DDP at Halloween Havoc, because this was Goldberg's best match at the time, and it went over 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if you was watching it live there in the stadium, it was, you know, 10 minutes. If you watched it at home,
if you were watching it at Nitro the next day, as well. But yes, this is infamously cut because they ran out of pay-per-view time.
Yeah, because of Hogan and Warrior went on long. Yeah. One of the greatest matches.
It was that match for definite, but whatever. Yeah. So I watched that match. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
I think Goldberg.
Go on. No, go on.
I was going to. Goldberg will benefit from the from the DDP style, the DDP matchman style of matchmaking.
Yeah.
So you have to rehearse the script. This is where you're going to go. This is exactly at these points. Blah blah blah. Right? Because I don't think the man could call matches.
No, nowhere near it.
And I don't think it'll be like one of those situations where you're like, okay, let's go through the match. Right?
Yeah.
No, just tell him exactly what he needs to do and let him do it. Point for point.
Yeah, guide him through it, innit? Yeah.
You know what Hogan and Warrior did for their match at WrestleMania 6. So, yeah. But no, I'm like, I think that's what Goldberg should have done. He started too early and went too quickly.
Yeah.
So if some people like to call matches in the ring or go roughly over it, no, this guy should have practiced the full long run.
Yeah.
Or enough of the run, the run out of the entire match, just to know exactly what to do.
Yeah, he should have. And then after that, again, what happens? Because he didn't start cutting promos or anything until after he lost the title, but even towards the DDP bit to when Nash beats him.
Oh no! But we just skipping through the actual match though.
Oh no! I'm saying like there's nothing sort of again feud wise or character building for him.
It's
just like
because he doesn't lose, and that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
As much as you want to be like, oh yeah, if I'm a character that never takes a loss, that means that I can always win, and therefore I will get pushed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't help anyone surrounding you, and you can only go so far because what happens next? Well, you're gonna have to lose it at some point. But yeah, as for the match itself, this is the match where Goldberg speared DDP.
Yeah.
But DDP, because he knows how to whack, went up with the spear, whereas Goldberg was spearing other people that were big and wide.
Yeah, okay, that's the best way of putting it. Yeah. Wide built people.
He had to hit them proper hard.
Yeah.
So Goldberg speared himself he DDT'd himself, is what DDP said.
Gave himself a concussion.
So when he picked up DDP for the jackhammer, he actually crumpled a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Oh, Goldberg like got hurt. He's injured. You know, he can feel pain, just like Ivan Drago, right?"
Yeah.
Except that it wasn't a sell because it was a legit.
Yeah, it was a legit like, ooh, he's feeling groggy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he lifted him up for the second time of the jackhammer, DDP turned it into Diamond Cutter.
Yeah.
And then you got the 1, 2, 3 because both men are down, and DDP covered him at 9.
Yeah.
And they were 1, 2, and then Goldberg kicked out right on 2. And then he put DDP away, but DDP came up to him afterwards and was like, "I should have kicked out like at 2.5 or 2.9 or something like that because you would have got a massive pop, right?"
Yeah.
And Goldberg's like, "Sorry, D, I was concussed," and he's like,
"Oh, okay."
yeah. Okay, yeah.
The
fair
90s
enough.
where concussion was like an everyday thing. Oh, okay, cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's also that one where he speared the ring post.
Yeah.
And then I think other people, I see it there, right? And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Goldberg hurt himself and he's injured, and then your wrestling competitor, whoever it is, the challenger, takes advantage. But then it happens with other people in other matches because it's like, what? Hold on a minute. Are you telling me the only way to have a 50-50 match with Goldberg is for him to injure himself first?
Yeah. Then it kind of makes his character look stupid.
Yeah. Because way later on, but he did that with the match with Jericho as well. So it's just like, right, but yeah. And was it with The Rock as well? He also, I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a lot of times.
And then the next thing we know is Nash versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
I can't really say much about that match because it wasn't particularly good.
Nope.
But yeah, taser is all I gotta say about it. And then sometimes I think because it wasn't an active taser, I think sometimes when he got poked, he didn't do the But then how would you know that you're getting it tasered?
Yeah.
I mean, people sell the taser differently.
Yeah.
Because some people do it like not over the top, but theatrically.
Yeah.
And some people kind of just take the drop.
Yeah. Which
that's probably right if you were taking a taser against the police or whatever, right?
Yeah.
In the real world.
Yeah.
But in wrestling, so when you stop a person in the real world, right?
Yeah.
And they're down, they just don't move. Yeah? They don't move. Yeah. When you stop someone in wrestling, even if they're supposed to be knocked out, exactly, they have the quivers and whatnot. Yeah.
But because. All right, me at this point, I was a huge Kevin Nash fan. I was down with the Wolfpack, ding, all that stuff. And then, all right, so I didn't watch this match live, obviously, because we couldn't get WCW pay-per-view matches over here or whatever. But I remember seeing like the stills and stuff when they showed on Nitro the next day. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Until I saw the Scott Hall come in, hit him with a taser. I was like, wait, what? Why is this?
Yeah.
You were mortal enemies, Scott Hall and Nash. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, this is when he was last call Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Where he was doing the drunkard gimmick, which is very bad taste.
Which wasn't a gimmick. And then, so I was like, okay, but Nash won. Okay, cool. It would have been better if someone else beated Goldberg's streak. But Nash, yeah, cool. Nash is cool with the kids right now. He's all hip. And then the next day on the Nitro, and we had the weird Hogan, hey, I'm coming after you, Nash, because I want that title because I never got my rematch against Goldberg, blah, 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 blah.
Hogan knew better than to job to the same guy twice.
Yeah. And then Nash is like, yeah, sure, because I'm leader of Wolfpack and I'm going to be champion forever.
Isn't this where Goldberg's like, I want my title rematch? And they're like, no, you've been stalking Elizabeth.
Yeah. So you're getting arrested. Okay, sure. And then the whole Nitro, they're building up for this, so quote unquote, epic battle between, I want to say, 47-year-old Hulk Hogan and late 30s, early 40s Nash, whatever. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, this is not gonna be great because everyone knows Nash he's a cool looking guy and everything, but wrestling he's not great. Not a great.
Nash couldn't carry Hogan. That's 100% right.
Yeah,
the truth. And so here's my logic. Maybe you're watching for the train wreck.
At that age, I don't think I knew about train wrecks. But even then, I was like, okay, this is gonna be a bit weird. No, the only thing like for me is like, oh, it's NWO leader versus NWO leader. It's gonna be cool. So they build the whole 2 hours or 3 hour Nitro it was back then, just to do the epic fail known as the finger poke of doom.
Yep.
Which didn't make anyone look better because then I remember after this when they're all celebrating and the Wolfpacks, then the NWOs you reunite and all that rubbish. Then Goldberg come back and they just all beat the crap out of Goldberg. And like, oh, okay, great way to bury the dude, not bury the dude, but a great way to make Goldberg look strong. Yeah.
And then Goldberg didn't even go after either Hogan or Nash.
No,
he was like, "Now I'm gonna have a taser match, a ladder match with a taser
against Scott Hall,
hanging on the thing against Scott." Yeah. It's just like,
okay,
all right,
sure. In your priorities of getting revenge, Scott Hall should be at the bottom right now. All right, sure, whatever. Okay.
But here's the thing, right? Even though Nash says he wasn't booking at this time.
Yeah. Claims. Yeah.
I don't know how true that was, but yeah. And I think Hogan was like, "I'm not gonna go and break the streak.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the political card and not break this and not defeat someone for once because he was like the backlash, right?"
Yeah, I say he foresaw the backlash. Like, I don't want to be part of that. I don't want any of that smoke. Yeah, let them
you've seen that, right? But when we had Spider-Man One More Day, and Joe Quesada was like, "Yeah, we're gonna break the Spider marriage." He's like, "I'm gonna eat the backlash and don't care."
Yeah,
it's like, well, you can't go that way. You can do it.
You can do it, but Hogan, you forget this is Hogan, isn't it? All he really cares about is himself. He's like, "No, I don't really want that."
Yeah.
Nash is cool. He can take the heat, which I guess Nash did because he's charismatic enough to sort of roll with it. But Hogan's ego would be bruised if they started hating him, But so then he had that ladder match, which again wasn't great. It was Scott Hall trying to carry the match.
Yeah.
And it's just the same match because I saw a clip of Who Killed WCW where they go for a move and Goldberg just pauses and Scott Hall's like, "What are you doing? Do you know what you're doing?"
No, I think that was in the 3 matches in a row he had on the Nitro.
Oh, I thought it was later on.
Yeah. I think that, like you're saying, I think they did like the shoulder bump thing, whatever, right?
Yeah. Oh, you
meant Goldberg because he can't think on the fly at that time.
Yeah.
They kind of just do a weird pause.
Yeah.
So Scott Hall has to think, all right, what am I going to do here? Lock up, whatever,
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That
match.
Yeah, but I don't. You got confused. That's fine, right? Because that's. Goldberg,
it's still new at that point.
Goldberg in those sort of matches, what does he do? Doesn't do much, and in segments as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised that you mix that stuff up because it's just like the guy does so many. The guy doesn't have much ring gear, and he look relatively sane, but a year and later and stuff like that. So
Yes, and then so they have that match, and then I think this is a bit long after that when he injures himself in it, like really, like legit with the.
Wait. Is this after he comes back as heel or before?
I think it's before, because I think before is when he does the.
Oh, you know what we did skip?
What?
The entire Jericho segment that you were gonna.
Go on.
Yeah,
well, Jericho just keeps calling him out.
Yeah.
Him
and then
Rufus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he was doing all like joke skits with when Goldberg goes to the ring, he got the security guards and stuff. He did his one where they got lost in the stadium, in the arena and that stuff, which was quite funny.
Yeah.
Then
and you come out with sparklers as well.
Yeah.
And then he challenged because they told him from reading Jericho's book. They told him, "Oh yeah, go ahead." He called him out, right? And then it won't be Goldberg come out, some other dude, right?
Yeah.
So you just beat a bunch of Goldberg looking jabronis, like proper ones, like out of shape or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. All right, you give me it, I'll roll with it, And then Goldberg for some reason, I don't know who didn't inform Goldberg or whatever. He's just like, Jericho, I'm not liking what you're doing. It's like, what? The office is telling me to do it, so I can't really
say no to people who pay me.
Yeah. And then Goldberg they were like, look, he was like, make him stop, and then eventually he was like, look, I'll just squash him then. I'll just squash him. Yeah, because I don't mix no cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Because Nash and Hogan were nudging Goldberg in that sort of direction.
Yeah.
Even though the cruiserweights were you're watching WCW for most of the time, but whatever.
Yeah. So.
And then they're like, all right, well, Jericho's like, yeah, but you squash me on a pay-per-view, you know?
Yeah,
we'll make a whole bunch of money. I built this feud up, you know, by myself.
Yeah. One-sided. Yeah.
And I think they went into Bischoff's office and they were like, all right, well, yeah, okay. Look, let's end it on this pay-per-view here. Finished, done, dusted. That entire thing's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Goldberg, but I'm off on that pay-per-view. I'm already off. I'm not doing that. So it was like, okay, well, all right, you know.
Yeah. It was.
So I think it ended with a segment where Goldberg was in the ring for something, and Jericho came out. No, Jericho was in the ring. He did his thing where he called out Goldberg. He won by count out because Goldberg never came to the ring.
Yeah.
Started mouthing up to the crowd while still looking in the direction of the ring, walking backwards because, you know, that's how heels roll. Turn around,
Goldberg
get speared.
Yeah, and that was
the people love it. Jericho's on the floor like a jabroni. Done. Yeah. Then they never come back to it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then Jericho left WCW not long after that.
Well, at that point, why would you stay?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're just saying like, look, man, come do a match for 1 minute and then go home. No, I'm not even going to do that for you.
No. Either way, you're getting paid, so why, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was annoying.
Yeah. Goldberg's greatest feud in WCW, right?
Yeah. Well, Goldberg's. Well, yeah. And then so is this the? And then I think this is the bit where he smashes the window open and then cuts. This is when they start trying to give him character and he's starting actually like interacting with people and having feuds.
Are you thinking of this one where he cut himself and? Wait, when did he go and film Universal Soldier?
Might have been around this time, because... Wait, no, it might have been a bit earlier, because Universal Soldier came out like...
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I thought the cut happened towards the end of WCW.
You might be right. Oh, either way, he was off for a while, and then he come back.
Yeah.
And this is... Was this when he started feuding kind of with Bret?
Wait, did he feud with Steiner before or after that? Because I remember the Steiner's Big Dipper promo. I'm a loaded Sex Pistol and I'm ready to explode. I'll put the Steiner recliner and say, size does matter, bitch. Because you don't need to see the moon rotate. No, the Earth rotate on a 360-degree axis to see the Big Dipper. No.
Steiner.
And then what was it? He did a rhyme. He dropped a rhyme in the middle of it as well, and I can't remember what that was offhand.
Because he feuded with the... Because this is when the Steiner... Because it around when Rick Steiner turned heel as well, and they kind of like semi got back together.
Yeah, it might have been. But it might also been like because and then then Steiner and Goldberg had that really good match.
Yeah. Where
Steiner, like, it was a hardcore match, but Steiner seemed to work with Goldberg, as in, you know, let's just stiff each other.
Yeah.
Let's just hit each other like big meaty men.
Yeah, big meaty men slapping meat. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Because when he started having some sort of a character. Yeah.
I think where it was lead pipe to Goldberg's head and then the Steiner recliner. I was like, but you know what? If you're gonna go out like that,
then it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. That should have been the match that Goldberg lost on.
Yep.
Right? Because, and I personally, I could have accepted Big Pump doing it.
Yeah,
it would have made sense.
Yeah. Or like, I would say as well, like going slightly back to the Kevin Nash thing. If Nash beat him clean, I would have been alright. Okay.
Well, yeah. But I guess. But Goldberg, being the gimmick that he is, that's not likely to happen.
No.
I do remember Goldberg feuded with the New Jersey Triad.
Yeah.
Which was DDP, Diamond Bigelow, and Canyon. But I only remember that because Canyon took so beat up Goldberg, threw him in the corner, and then they did the Irish whip splash sort of thing, where one guy Irish whip one of your teammates, Irish whips another of your teammates, so they can run and do a splash. Yeah. So Bam and Bigelow Irish whipped Canyon, and Canyon ran towards Goldberg, and then he got speared hard.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got concussed from that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but that was one of the greatest looking spears I've seen.
Yeah.
But then Canyon's a great seller as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was pretty surprised if he legit got injury from that, got winded from that, because boy, that looks really, really good. And then wait, hon. So you might have been right. Did he injure himself, and then later on he come back as heel?
Yeah, because But was that the last year of WCW? Bret Hart wasn't there, was he?
No.
So, because was he involved in New Blood Rise and all that stuff? Because I think the Goldberg and Nash. I mean, Goldberg and Bret Hart might be before he got injured then, and then came back as heel. Because he came back as heel during the whole New Blood Rising versus.
Okay. So the only man to beat Goldberg more than twice.
Yeah.
Is Bret him and Hart.
Yeah.
Beat him 3 times.
But what?
Yeah, one was a screw job.
Yeah, let's say that
one was mass interference, right?
Yeah.
Did he defeat him the other one? None of them were clean. None of them were clean. No. But that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is where at one point Bret Hart. This is before Bret Hart fully came back, where he was like, "I'm gonna quit. I quit WCW or whatever." Right?
Yeah.
No. He called out Goldberg because he was supposed to have a match with Goldberg.
Yeah.
In fact, in Bret's biography, he's talking about how he's supposed to be building the match with Goldberg, and Kevin Nash had the book, right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Nash is kind of sabotaging it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you can have a draw with Van Hammer. But wait, what? If I'm meant to be feuding with Goldberg, why am I drawing with Van Hammer? Because he's lower mid card.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this guy's getting paid this much money.
Yeah. So why is he drawing to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't compute.
Anyways, so this is where Bret goes Goldberg into spearing him, and then Bret has that metal plate underneath his hockey jersey.
Yeah, you're like, ha ha ha.
And then he in fact, what was funny is they both were not like Goldberg. Bret was down, Goldberg was KO'd. Bret turns him over, counts 1, 2, 3, and he's like, what? And then yeah. I don't know if you count that as one of the times Bret Hart defeated Goldberg.
and then he awkwardly took off the padding. Like, oh, this is okay. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. And then there was a bit where Bret Hart tried to pretend to befriend him again. Then he turned on him again. Yeah, it was all. I think Bret was champ at the time, right?
Yeah. Well, Goldberg won the US title off Sid. Yeah. Okay. So Sid had the US title. Who did he beat? Did he beat Chris Benoit for it? I can't remember.
Probably.
And then they had the match. Goldberg defeated Nash. Goldberg defeated Sid in a match that we both watched and I liked and you didn't like.
Yeah.
And then they had a rematch which none of us liked.
No.
And then I think Bret was world champion at that point, and they won the tag titles off the Outsiders. Is that correct?
Yeah. And then for him to turn on Goldberg or something. It was something.
Well, and I'll tell you what the other funny thing is they had a segment live on Nitro because Nitro is going to be full of watchers like this, right?
Yeah.
Goldberg was already in Bret's room, but he had to step outside, and the camera, the camera's filming, right? And they're going to do the segment. Goldberg steps out of the room. Bret sits down in the chair, right? And then he puts his leg up, right?
Yeah.
And then the door closes, cameraman opens the door, right?
And Goldberg's
Bret's saying, I got beat up. Goldberg goes, what happened to you, Bret? What happened to you? It's like, Oliver, you were just dead a second ago.
Yeah.
Oh. And then I just remember another WCW botch like that where what was that group with above average Mike Sanders? The
Natural Born Thrillers.
Yeah. So they were getting ready for the light to record or whatever, yeah, and they were just standing on the in the car park or whatever, right? And then when it's go, they start walking, and Mike Sanders is on the phone, even though his phone never rang, and he's just like,
I love WCW.
Yeah.
For all the wrong reasons.
I don't know if you remember the segment that they recorded where is it Eve Torres was meant to be in the ambulance with Kane was meant to chase her into an ambulance or whatever.
Yeah.
And and Kane was waiting for the camera to go on.
Yeah.
And Eve Torres just calmly walks into the ambulance. And then the cameras go like the camera's already on, but you know they and then they start thinking, oh my whatever, right?
Yeah.
But he's just like, oh no, hold on a minute.
There's another one where it was in a chase sequence, and I think they were meant to be. It was, I think, Team SmackDown were chasing Team Raw, and then somehow I think it was Mark Henry or someone ran. Yeah.
It was NXT. It was the Nexus.
Yeah. he ran past them up there, and someone's like, "Dude, you got to slow down because when we chase."
I think it was Heath Slater jogging right next to him, and he shoved him.
Yeah, he shoves like, "Dude."
And then Mark Henry just kind of,
wrestling.
Actually, it reminds me of another one where Van Ham was chasing Jericho.
Yeah.
And then the camera followed them around the corner.
Yeah.
They're still running down, and then they stopped because they thought they finished. Van Ham runs past Jericho.
Oh, that's.
They could have done the Looney Tunes thing where one guy stops and then the guy who is running just keeps on running.
Yeah.
Because he forgets. Yeah. Or they're running too fast and he doesn't realize it.
That's that's hilarious.
Anyways, yeah. So Bret and Goldberg are tag champions, and then they lose their tag champions to who?
I want to say back to the Outsiders.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg, who's US champion. So he loses in. I think is it Roddy Piper, Goldberg, and Scott Hall and Bret Hart in this match? This ladder match?
Because doesn't Scott Hall win the US title?
Yes, that's the match I'm going with. I can't remember who's in the match.
Either, but I remember Scott Hall winning it. Yeah.
And you remember how Scott Hall won it?
No.
So I think it's a national special guest referee.
Oh, this makes sense already. Yeah.
And I believe whoever was going to get the title, Nash attacked with a baseball bat. The title fell on the floor. Nash picks up the title, holds it holds it up with his arm.
Yeah.
So it's just higher than the ladder, yeah?
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, he has it behind his back while Scott Hall climbs the ladder. And then he just kind of
gives it to him,
holds it up.
Yeah.
So Scott Hall, quote unquote, unlatched it from Nash's arm. Yeah, anyways. Outside the shenanigans, whatever, right?
WCW, love it.
Yeah.
I love Nash and Scott Hall. They just didn't care.
Well, if you're getting paid big money for that, why would you do what you need to do?
Yeah. Can't knock him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that leads to another match between Bret and Goldberg and number 2, and then one of them's
one bit before this, by the way, was when Goldberg had the title.
Yeah.
And Sting was coasting, so it was like, okay, this might be a match that Goldberg could possibly lose.
Yeah.
So Sting had him in the Scorpion Deathlock, and referees at Goldberg saying, "Do you submit?" Right, and then Hogan comes in and punts Sting in the face.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg spear jackhammer, which is like fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Because both guys needed the to be protected, yeah?
Yeah.
And I think that's when Goldberg said, I don't count this on my record.
Yeah.
Because of interference. But then it's like, well, hold on a minute. How can you be saying...
How do you choose?
Yeah.
How do you...
Yeah.
Because that's like me saying, I didn't lose that match because I got pinned by a roll-up rather than getting hit with it. You know what I mean? Like, I choose...
You're saying that because there was Hogan interference and whatnot.
Yeah.
But even then, it's just like, so action replays happen when they happen, and then when we decide we don't want it, none of this doesn't matter, you know? Yeah.
Oh. Yep, and then this doesn't it lead to depending on who you talk to, Bret Hart's career getting ended by Goldberg.
Well, I say you okay. When you say depending on who you talk to, what's the other opinion?
No, that's the right opinion, but like it's how I'm gonna see it as this.
Right? Okay, yeah, go on. I think I know where you're going, but go on.
Like, he knew he got concussed, right?
Yeah. Well,
no, I mean like Bret knew he got concussed because he even said
I think it's one of those things where. Not to defend, like it's just like, oh yeah, maybe I'm kind of injured, but I don't know. Maybe I'll work through the injury. Yeah, stupid, stubborn mindset.
Yeah, well, it's that time. It was that time of wrestling.
Yeah, so I don't know if he knew he got concussed or he thought this was just something he could shrug off.
Yeah,
because he's denying the symptoms of concussion because that's what they did
back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
let me ask, by the way. Let me ask, in your personal opinion.
Yeah.
Let's just say you start having a scratchy throat and stuff. Do you think, you know what, I actually got a cold, or do you think like, nah, I just got a dry throat. It's nothing.
That's a good point. It depends. Sometimes like, oh no, I got a cold, or sometimes like I'll be like, you know what, let me just see how it plays out. And
yeah. So I'm like that. I was like. So there've been times I've woken up and you're like dry throat. No, maybe my mouth was open in the middle line and my throat's just dry now. It's not. But then you go 2 days and 3 days and you're like, I've got a cold. Whereas my friend, right, instantly he's like, if he feels something like that, he's like, I've got a cold. I'm on the side of caution.
Yeah.
Say the power of the. But the thing is though, if there's a legit problem. Then that's difficultation. I mean, if you break your ankle, you can't be like,
I can walk this off, and then just fall over straight away. Yeah.
But there's stuff in between where you don't know for sure, so you'd be like, I kind of think I'm gonna. You know how many people ignore the symptoms of STDs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
But like, it's like wrestler wise, I'm pretty sure like back then most wrestlers knew what concussions were for having them so many times. Like, so it's kind of that like you know these symptoms already. Like you should sort of like, okay, maybe I should.
But there were a couple of things I think within that. So it wasn't by the time Bret got kicked in the head.
Yeah,
he was already concussed prior to that.
Yeah,
because during the match he did the ring place figure 4, and what you meant to do?
Yeah, he meant to hold yourself up, innit?
Well, the person
they meant to hold you,
yeah. But Goldberg held the ankle as Bret latched it, and then he let go to sell.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need to hold Bret's weight until he drops to the ground.
Yeah.
You can't just let him drop on his own head, right?
Yeah.
Onto the bare floor or the padded floor. So Mal was out from that. I think he took a rough hit before that as well at some point.
Yeah.
So by the time the concussion, Goldberg threw Bret to the ropes and said, "Watch the kick," and Bret's like,
"What? Yeah, what kick?
There's a million places this kick could go."
Yeah,
he didn't say that obviously because he didn't have the time, but it's just like, what does that mean? Watch the kick, because it could go anywhere.
You could have said like head kick or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could have been more descriptive on what he was saying. Yeah.
To be fair, he did deflect it with his hand.
Yeah.
Because he did watch the kick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he might have been a bit groggy as well at that point, and that kick was more stiffer than it should have been.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like you say, whether like how much of that was because like Bret ended up ending his career because of that, or the stuff that he did afterwards because he had to have a hardcore match after that, nights later and stuff like that. So yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's crappy that it happened, but like, and I'm gonna sound like a bit like a jerk for saying this, but like it's kind of one of the things. What's done is done. Kind of let go of it at this point. You know what I mean? But Bret, there's a couple. Yes, right. So at the time, yeah,
Bret's like, look, it's a shame that Goldberg did it. He's a sweet guy and everything like that. He's not trained properly, and that's what Bret's major problem with this guy is.
Yeah.
He wasn't trained well enough to wrestle.
Yeah.
Safely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But then I think all the venom started spewing.
Yeah.
After Bret's stroke and when Goldberg came back.
Yeah.
To make his millions on his third run?
Yeah, would be third run. Yeah.
Yeah. Which Bret Hart probably feels that Goldberg does not deserve.
Yeah, which I get.
Money for the amount of time first of all, the amount of time that he spends in the ring, how much how much, you know.
Yeah.
How safe was he? Wasn't particularly safe later on either. So I could get it if Bret was just like, look, this guy's unsafe, and that's why I hate him. Right?
Yeah.
Even though I forget, whatever, right? But I mean, the guy does have a point, right? And he does, and Goldberg screwed him out of millions as well for his own contract. Yeah. However, I think it's become Bret's signature now.
Like, at this point, I kind of think he's trolling now.
Yeah.
Remember, like a couple of years ago, he was like, you know what, I accept Goldberg's apology, but I'm not talking about it anymore. Then, like, I think the last year or so, he's just been on it every chance he gets. He's like, yeah, this guy, you know. Like,
you know, that's the thing, right? I don't know if he like you say, yeah. He's Goldberg's reverse flash or wake up earlier than a normal person should, just so he has more time to hate.
Yeah, it's like, all right. And then, like, I kind of feel sorry for Goldberg now, because even he's like, I've apologized every time, but I don't know what he wants from me now at this point. You just going on, like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. But like you say, I think personally, like you say, maybe he's just trolling for jokes. Not the jokes of it, right? Because he probably is bitter. But it's like, if there's something nothing to do with Goldberg, you know, Bret will bring you up and say, that Goldberg ended my career.
Yeah, like,
even though, say the conversation is about nuclear physics, even though we asked about nuclear physics, somehow it's going to, and at some point it's just going to drop,
then, you know, Goldberg did this with Goldberg. Like, okay, Bret, thanks for your insight on quantum physics. All right. But yeah, so that happened. And then I think this is the period and he disappeared for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. Might have been that's when he got injured, right?
Yeah. And then
he came back as a heel, which made no sense.
No. Yeah.
Well, you could only do so much with him because if he's supposed to be a face, right? Yeah. I mean, if the man's gimmick is that he wins 99% of his matches, exactly what are you going to do with him?
Give him a heel gimmick with no character. Just like he's basic, like, because they brought him in to be the enforcer, or whatever, for the New Blood Rising because they hated all the older people because they were millionaires, depending on who you was. And then he came. I remember when he debuted as the bad guy, because he come in, they thought he was gonna save, I think it was Sting or someone.
Yeah.
And then he speared him through a table or something. And then he did his whole rah. And then he had red contacts on. I was like, oh, red contacts means he's bad guy.
This is where Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff were hyping something major was going to happen, and WWF couldn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, it's Goldberg turning heel. That's not the most major thing in the world, but whatever.
Yeah. And then so he was heel for a bit in that, and then he realized he didn't like being heel.
Yeah. But before that, he took a loss to Booker T.
Oh, did he?
No, did he? I can't remember if it was who or not. I know he had some. Booker T was champion at one point.
I think this was later on, isn't it?
Was it later on? Okay, go on. Sorry. Yeah,
because I remember the whole New Blood and the Billionaire Club storyline finished. It finished, but without no explanation. Because I think this is when Bash at the Beach happened and the whole Hogan. Thing.
Yeah.
And then Booker T won the title off of. Well, Jerry and Booker T fought for the title. No one was champion because basically,
even though Jerry got pinned by Hogan with 1 foot.
Yeah.
Moments before, an hour before, or not too long before, and then Hogan dare say, "What is this crap?" Russo, this is why the company's in the shape that it's in. It's just but Hogan, I think. You're playing politics also had something to do with it. But...
Yeah, and then that's when Russo comes out and goes, you're never gonna see that piece on TV ever again. Which Hogan didn't like and sued him. But then
but he supposedly knew what was coming because they already he just think he went too far. It's like, what part of it was too far? Was it because he called you bold?
Which probably was it. Because of Hogan's ego, it probably was that. Not even that, like, he's a master manipulator and stuff. It's cause he called him bald, Weirdo. So so that all weird, the whole New Blood, that storyline kind of dropped. And then Booker T became champion, and then Goldberg went face again. Again, none of this made any sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he had a match with. Yeah, he did have a match with Booker T, and Booker T won. Yeah.
But it was one of his. So did he come out? Well, I think so. Jeff Jarrett was involved in that somehow.
Yeah,
I think it was Goldberg went to spear.
Oh, this was. Oh, I know what you're talking about. It was a their Hell in a Cell match, whatever they called it, whatever. And they were
you're thinking of your thing afterwards. You're thinking of the thing after where Russo.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that. Yeah.
No, this is where Booker T leapfrogged a spear.
Yeah.
Because I think Jarrett was going to get speared, but then it caught Booker T's knee as well. So then Booker T gave Goldberg a Harlem sidekick.
Yeah. And
then after that, they had their match, which was all right. But it's Goldberg, so we can do, right?
There's only so much Booker T could do there.
Yeah, and I think that had interference as well. But then,
of course,
Booker T managed to give Goldberg the bookend.
Yeah.
Where Goldberg kicked out right after 3. Because
he has to, stay strong. Yeah.
Stay strong. But then, strangely enough, Booker T was the one selling, and Goldberg got right up afterwards. It's like, okay,
it makes sense.
Makes
sense. Oh, I think I might have glassed past this as well. This might be later up. I think where when he had is it Mike Madden on commentary? Yeah. And then there was a bit there was that they were trying to tell that weird line between wrestling's fake and the backside.
No, I think this is later on.
It's later on. Okay, cool. Yeah, so anyway, So because even off that, they kept Goldberg kind of close to the top card, but then he never was champion again.
I think this is just before he sliced his own wrist, breaking the limousine. But this was also after the point where you were going to say where the WCW title was on the line.
Yeah.
Russo was in the match. Was it Nash and Goldberg and Booker T?
I think so. I know.
And then
No.
Was Goldberg not even in the match?
No, I think it was Booker T against Vince Russo for some weird reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought Nash or Jarrett was probably in the match. I don't know. But Goldberg, speared Vince Russo out of the cage.
Yeah.
And Vince Russo won the match then.
Yeah, and became WCW champion. Yeah.
And then on Thunder, he gave up the title. I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but then again, this company gave David Arquette the title, so
which made more sense than Vince Russo, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
like 1% more sense then.
Well, at least now David Arquette can do stuff and is willing to do stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
He learned from that. Yeah, and he didn't want the title. He was like, this doesn't make any sense, right? Yeah. But WCW don't listen to anyone, right?
Like we said, WCW on WCW.
Yeah, but Vince Russo wanted the title.
Yeah.
Why?
Even though he said the title doesn't mean anything, bro. It's just a prop, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sure, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, and then then this led to again them trying to develop Goldberg with a character.
Yeah, and then we get to the bit we keep on referencing, but we never come.
Yeah.
Who's he chasing to the back?
I want to say Scott Steiner. I want to say
maybe.
Yeah, it was someone in that main event atmosphere. Yeah. So it might have been Scott Steiner, could have been Jeff Jarrett or someone. Yeah.
So he broke the what's it called?
Limousine.
Yeah. The windshield, and then he decided to break the side
window, innit?
Yeah, and he had to hit it twice, and then it gashed him.
Yeah.
And then he was off TV for an extended period of time.
And it's all because they said to him, they rigged something. He's meant to wear a long sleeve, innit? So he's meant to have like a pipe there. So when he hit it, it broke. But he's like, no, I want to look strong. And they're like, no, don't do this. So they kind of thought that, like, we're not going to do it. And then when he filmed a bit, he went and did it. And I was like, oh, this is wrong.
Yeah.
And it could have killed him, apparently, because he cut an artery that was very important.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah. But then this is the same guy who smashes his head into lockers before he has his matches. So
give himself concussions before matches. Yeah.
And we'll get to that as well because that affects stuff later on.
Later on. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think by that point, when Goldberg does come back, they're telling you got to build the streak again, bro. Because if you don't, as soon as you lose, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then him and the Sarge at some point. No, first of all, he beats Chronic. I remember he beats both of Chronic by himself.
Which was okay. You're pushing these guys to be like your top tag team, but then you get killed by Goldberg.
And then totally buffed the tag team of Lex Luger, the Total Package, and Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
They do a super blockbuster. I think it was an electric chair blockbuster on Goldberg.
Yeah. And he gets right back.
Well, because Goldberg and the Sarge versus totally buffed, and I don't know how much help the Sarge is. Whatever,
no,
right?
none at all. Because I watched this match a year ago. I was like, this is terrible. Yeah.
Except for the super blockbuster at the end, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And then pins 1, 2, 3, and then he's gone, and you're thinking, all right, it's gonna be time off until he comes back again for something, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because by the time he comes back,
no more WCW. Yeah. Then he just sat out his contract.
Well, I think I know he went to Japan to wrestle a couple of matches, squashes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like you say, he sat out his contract, his $1 million contract, because WWF are buying out contracts for like half the price.
Yeah.
And some people like DDP and Booker T and stuff like could accept it, but then when you go to the higher rank contracts and like, well, we've got 3 years on our contract.
Yeah.
We'll sit down and make money. Yeah. Let me just do that.
Yeah, that's what stings.
I would take it as well. No shade to them.
See, like
easy money.
I got like DDP and Booker T's reasoning for it. I was like, you know what? If I take those 3 years out, whatever, my brand's gonna sink. So I need to, keep it going, which makes sense. We worked in both their favors, really, especially Booker T's favor in the end. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah, not that they helped DDP.
A
lot, because he could have been so much more.
Yeah, but Booker T helped him a lot, because look at him now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they knocked Booker T, the WCW World Champion. They knocked him down the card.
Yeah.
Before they built back up, and it's like, well, you didn't need. You could have just stuck him in your mid card.
Yeah,
because once he lost the title, it was just like,
But then,
let's test this man. Let's test him to see how whatever.
Yeah.
Because they
that weird mentality, like
exactly. So Goldberg at the WrestleMania 19, they were having the it was an advert for Goldberg. It was like in exile for 2 years, stuff like that. Exactly. And this is where Rock finally beat Steve Austin after 3 Rock bombs, and then he comes to Glow, and then Goldberg. The crowd's already chanting Goldberg, and Rock's like, don't chant the Rock's, just because the Rock's accountant Ira Goldberg.
Yeah, I was like,
stop chanting that name. Anyways, so he's trying to save the surprise, but couldn't save. And then Rock's like glowing, I beat Steve Austin, so there's no one left to beat. Well, then the Goldberg comes out. Who's next, Rock? You're next. Spear. Rock sells it like he's got cut in half.
He got cut in half. Like,
Even Rock done that sell for Roman Reigns. So he's consistent. So then they had their match, which was entertaining. I don't know how good I'd say it was, right? But it definitely was entertaining as far as I was thinking, right? Took 3 spears for the Rock to go down. Even Goldberg even gave him a rock bottom. I think Goldberg took a rock bottom as well. But anyway, spear jackhammer. But this is just before the match. Rock cut a promo. And he was like, "The Rock ain't next, you bald-headed whisker biscuit bitch. You're next." And they're like, "All right." And this is where the entire feud, Rock was making a mockery of Goldberg. He was singing the songs about Goldberg, and then he was like. It'd be like King Kong versus Godzilla, smash him with the chair. Like Rock, he's just so full of the Hollywood heel. Rock is so full of charisma, and he knew he could take the loss, and he didn't care because
plus he knew he was out soon, so it's like I don't know.
No, I think what enticed Goldberg into it, he was going to have an extended feud with The Rock.
Yeah,
but then Rock, like you said, was like, I actually got a movie to make, so
and
peace out, mate.
I don't really like taking bumps that much anymore at the ripe old age of 32.
Yeah. And then Goldberg feuded with Jericho. on and off camera.
Yeah. On and off camera, where the penny you speak to Jericho won in a backstreet fight. Yeah.
So Nash being back then was still nudging Goldberg about the feuding with Jericho.
Yeah.
Because Nash's going to be like that. And Goldberg's like, this, that, and the other. And then Jericho's like, Goldberg, just listen to me and we'll get along fine because I can make you look like crap or can make you look like $1 million and you wouldn't even know the difference. Which
is true.
Makes... Yeah. And then tempers rose because Goldberg was infuriated about the stuff that Jericho's talking about Goldberg on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
And so they had the little scuffle where Jericho put him in a front face lock or something like that.
Yeah.
And he just held on and never let go because he was like, if I let go, he will kill me.
He'll kill me. So I need to see how long this will go for.
And then everyone's putting Jericho off Goldberg, and Jericho's like, no, don't do that because he's gonna.
Once he's free, I'm
gonna be
dead.
done.
Yeah. Once he's free, I'm dead. Yeah.
And then so then Goldberg reaches for Jericho afterwards, and he starts grabbing and pulling his hair. That's what Jericho was saying in his book. He's like, what? And then he's like, look, Goldberg, leave it, yeah. Let's just call it as it is, you know. Yeah, because I think here's the thing: how much of it is Goldberg, and how much of the people that are surrounding him that are making him like, you don't know how much these people are helpful or they pretend to be friends to watch you fall. You know what I mean? So I think it's dicey. How much? I think, like you said, he got pushed too soon, too quickly, so he didn't know how to navigate those waters and who to trust.
Which is, again, I don't think it's his fault. It's the people around him's sort of fault, isn't it? Yeah. And then after the Jericho feud, it was.
Oh, by the way, during this feud is where he did a really good spear to Christian as well.
Yeah.
Like it went up, and like Christian had a chair, and it went. He got speared and it went up and back down. It's like, really, really good spear. And there's also one that he did to Nuncio in the Royal Rumble where he speared him and he like carried him halfway across the ring as well with that spear.
That was like, Royal Rumble 2004, isn't it? No, 2004.
Goldberg was only in one Rumble during this period.
Yeah, so it would have been 2004. Yeah. Because he left in March 2004. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is where. Okay, so the perfect time to win the title, where it was the Elimination Chamber, and I personally think this is one of Goldberg's best matches.
Yeah.
Where Nash was eliminated by Jericho and Shawn Michaels, super kick, and then Jericho roll up pin, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Shawn Michaels, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Triple H and Goldberg in the ring,
Yeah.
And Goldberg just mows through everyone except for Triple H.
Yeah.
And then Triple H is like in the chamber selling. Like, oh no, like selling like, the serial killer villain from a slash movie is coming after him,
Yeah.
Close the gate, close the door. And this is where he had them long trunks because he had a groin injury.
Yeah.
Which so he's just battered every single one of these guys just running through to get to you. Kicks down your chamber door, yeah?
Yeah.
Then just let him finish you,
Yeah.
Well, I want to say, Triple H hit him with the head he got Ric Flair threw the sledgehammer in and Triple H hit him in the head with Goldberg in the head with the sledgehammer, yeah?
Yeah, when he went for the
what they probably should have done was have Goldberg catch the sledgehammer, break it, spear Triple H, jackhammer him. Only because it just made sense in the context of everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, because if you're injured anyway, you might as well just wait till you. He's injured, Triple H, and he's going to win the title back at some point. So just let him have it at that point, and then when you're healed, otherwise you're holding the title for no reason whatsoever, other than your own ego. You decide you didn't want a job to that guy. It was the perfect time, But
as much as I'm a huge Triple H fan, even back then, I was still a Triple H fan. I kind of agree. Yeah, he should have. But then when Goldberg does beat him for it, it's kind of, I don't know.
Well, see, that was in the August pay-per-view, and I think September pay-per-view, then Goldberg beats him, and then Goldberg beats him in October pay-per-view as well, or something like that. But it's just like, what was the point of doing that if he was going to win it the next month anyways?
Yeah, I don't know.
Might as well just let him have it, and then
Maybe
whatever,
you build
right?
up like instead of people thinking that's gonna be a guarantee. Like, yep, as soon as he's in that title match, he wins. So I guess it's
No,
kind of built
yeah,
up. Yeah.
yeah. And this is also where I think at one point he went to give Goldberg a pedigree,
Yeah.
and then Goldberg took the face plant before he actually Triple H jumped.
Yeah, and he's like,
So they had to do it again. Not during that match. I think it was during the promo or something like that. And then they cut it smoothly because that's how they edit things, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is where Batista injured Goldberg's ankle because Triple H, because he was out being injured, he's like, if anyone, I'll give $10,000 or whatever it takes. Yeah. But then it's just like, okay, hold on a second, yeah. If you're gonna sit out being injured, why don't you just lose the title at that point? How much can you do? And not to knock him, right?
Yeah.
But it only makes if you got other people in the ring with you while you're injured, the match can still look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're in a one-on-one match with a guy and you're injured,
it can't look good.
and you're dropping the title, none of you look good.
Well,
but Triple H's plan is to do that because he didn't want Goldberg to look good anyways, because they was having beef. Can you actually? Do you remember how that beef started? By the way,
what, the real life beef or the?
Yeah, that real life beef.
Was it? No, wasn't something to do with him being WCW? Something about one of them saying hi to each other in.
So Triple H was in an interview and they were talking about, they were asking, I think they were asking, somehow the conversation went to Goldberg.
Yeah.
Maybe Bret Hart was interviewing him. No, I'm joking. Because Bret Hart didn't hate him during that time.
No.
And he was like, yeah, you know what? If Goldberg he's big fish in a little pond. If he was in WWF, I don't know if Vince would push him, blah, blah, blah. And then people were like, hold on a minute. Look at Goldberg. Look at the people that Vince loved. Vince will, of course, push him. Yeah? So none of that made sense. And then I think Goldberg confronted them at a signing or something like that. And then Triple H tried to laugh it off. But he's like, yeah, of course you're going to laugh it off because you're not going to fight Goldberg. And then I think that's where, that's born from there. And then it kind of filtered into... This is, of course, at the point where Triple H's reign of terror is also. He was insecure about his spot on the card, even though he was making loads of money. So So it's one of those situations where you're like, how much of him was just trying to keep other people down so they don't take his spot? Whatever.
See, I don't know if I'm a firm Triple H defender. I don't know if that's I can see it as this. He obviously around this time he was still friends with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And maybe they put something in his ear about Goldberg, and that's why.
Well, I don't want to say you're speculating, but look, whatever it is whatever it is, right? We don't know the exactities of the situations, so it's hard to say. But I will say that Triple H was very paranoid during this period because he was burying Booker T and RVD and Jericho, and and Goldberg. So. The evidence, and Scott Steiner, so whether you can say how good they are by themselves individually, but he didn't help them,
But to be fair, to him, he was in that era where them two companies were feuding,
and then they finally ended the feud 20 years after WCW died. So
man, that's how every feud should end, 20 years after it's relevant,
So then Goldberg won the title. And then he held it for a couple of months. I think this is where Survivor Series, where he had the face down with Brock.
Yeah.
And then...
he interfered with Brock's match, innit? The Brock interfered with the match, so he lost, didn't it?
No, did he? I can't remember. What I know is this, right? I think it was a triple threat match. Kane, Triple H, and Goldberg. And Goldberg took I think there was Evolution interference.
Yeah, it was,
Goldberg took a low blow. Kane had him in the chokeslam position. Triple H low blowed him. Kane chokeslammed him. And then Kane got dragged out. And then Triple H pinned Goldberg.
Yeah.
He didn't pedigree him afterwards. He just pinned him off the low blow chokeslam. So it's like, okay. Should have just... Yeah. I think he should have given him pedigree afterwards as well.
But the chokeslam was the same move by Kane at that point, remember?
Yeah, but if it's... Goldberg is highly protected.
No, but I'm going to say this is it's probably with Goldberg's ego, he's probably like, okay, I'm not going to take a pedigree from him. I'll rather get taken out by Kane's move. Like,
oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, however it is, anyways,
Yeah.
he got pinned and lost to her, all right? And then
Yeah.
kind of him and Brock were feuding with each other, even though they're on opposite brands.
Yeah.
Because then did Goldberg throw? No. Goldberg was in the Rumble, and then he got F5'd in the Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Kurt Angle threw Goldberg out.
Yeah. And then Goldberg was still pissy about it. And then flash forward a month when at No Way Out, 2004, one of the best pay-per-views ever, because it's one of the best main events ever all time, when it was Eddie Guerrero versus Brock Lesnar. Goldberg bought a ticket to the front seat. He was teasing the whole time.
Stone Cold gave him a ticket.
Yeah.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Yeah, wink, wink. Yeah.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, so then he comes, interferes, he spears Brock, and then which leads to, well, it doesn't actually lead to Eddie Guerrero winning. Like, it kind of.
Oh no, you mean like he was in the crowd and oh yeah, they had an interaction where they called him out while he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then they Brock and Goldberg had a little tussle where Brock tried to F5 him.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg reversed into a jackhammer. And then he got thrown out of the arena.
Yeah.
And then later on, Brock had this match with Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. Then Goldberg
where Goldberg speared him.
Yeah.
Eddie went to get the pin. 1-2, and Brock kicked out, and I was like, good, because
you don't want to tarnish, like, cheapen Eddie's win with that. Yeah.
Let him win it by himself. He's already gonna.
Yeah.
I don't want to say he's already going to cheat to win, but it's his gimmick, cheat, steal, lie, cheat, and steal. So if he, as the babyface, cheated to win against a monster heel, you accept it.
So then, this led to their WrestleMania match, Brock and Goldberg, which also it got leaked that both their contracts are running up and they're not renewing it. So this killed anyone's excitement for the match. Which I didn't know until afterwards. Like, I remember watching a match.
And Shane McMahon, sorry, go on.
Yeah, we're going to what's Shane McMahon?
I was going to say Shane McMahon was leading the cheers, apparently.
Yeah, so they kept on fighting in between on Raw and SmackDown, and then they're like, we're going to have a match. And Stone Cold Steve Austin is going to be the guest referee because he'll be able to calm the crowd down, we guess. So, I just remember the whole match is everyone just shouting "F these guys" and you guys suck or whatever. And then the match was all right. I feel like if the crowd weren't really negative towards the match because they're both leaving, it would have been an okay match, if I'm honest.
Because it seemed like as much as as long as the match went.
Yeah,
it seemed like they were just getting started because they're doing the test of strength and the shoulder barges and stuff like that. All the stuff that you would start up the match and then you go into it. But no, it kind of was there and then ended. And it's like, right, okay. Yeah. The best bit of the match is when both of them ate stunners afterwards.
Yeah, literally. Or when Brock middle fingered all the crowd and then it was on it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So then Goldberg left and then went on a weird tirade for a while saying how wrestling sucks and he hates wrestling, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then we were graced for 12 years without seeing Goldberg in a wrestling. That's really mean. I don't mean like that. Like, we didn't see him in a wrestling ring for like 12 years. And
so
then
in 2000, gone. Yep.
2016 he come back?
Yeah. Because the once in a lifetime, no, not once in a lifetime. What's it called? How do they hype it up in the video game sort of thing? Fancy booking or whatever it is, right?
Fancy Warfare. Fancy Warfare. Yeah. Because I think how they got it around to this, or they got the interest of Goldberg coming back. I think, like they did for Sting in 2K14 or 15, made him a playable character, or whatever. And I think they did the same with Goldberg, and then he was like, "Oh, people are reacting nice to this. Let me call up the WWE and see what they want." And then
So I bought this pay-per-view and I was like, Goldberg versus Brock. Let's see how this works, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hold on a minute. The pay-per-view is ending, like the red bar is going really high. Yeah. So it's one thing if, by the way, you didn't see the red bar, you're not looking at it. But I'm like, all right, so I want to know how long this match might be, right?
Yeah.
Because I paid for it.
Yeah.
No. This match was like a minute and a half long, which was great for what it was, right?
Yeah.
Come in there. Brock shoves him in the corner. Goldberg shoves Brock on the ground. Brock, he looks at the crowd. He smirks at Paul Heyman. It's like, this guy, right? Turns...
This old geezer, yeah.
Yeah, he turns around instead of just turning around, standing up and looking at Goldberg, he turns around the rotation, right?
Yeah.
Eats a spear, jackhammer, done, right?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, right.
That's not weird.
I prefer the reanimated version of this, where when Goldberg shoves Brock, Goldberg gets Super Saiyan blue hair.
Yeah.
The spirit that he powers up like that. I was like, yes, that's what I want to see. I want to see that one. But yes, that match happened, and you're like, what? Okay, if you say so.
But the worst thing is, like, how it was kind of done, because it was so, like, out of nowhere. It was, like, kind of amazing. Like, oh, wow, that was pretty dope. Okay.
Yeah. And Brock was being an unstoppable monster at that point. So it's just like, you sacrifice... This is where he beat the streak, and he took people to Suplex City.
Yeah, and he had the title like 2 years or whatever it was, yeah.
Anyways, then you get to Royal Rumble, where I think it was like in the late 20s, and Brock came out and murdered everyone.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg came out and he just threw Brock right out like a jabroni. And then Brock was like, you damn dirty dog.
Yeah. Which again, I like it's one of the rare times where they kind of like gave Goldberg a character like the returning hero trying to...
Yeah, and I accepted that in the Royal Rumble, by the way. I was like, it makes sense. Yeah. And then Undertaker threw Goldberg out, which kind of put that at the time, it didn't seem like it was going to lead anywhere, but then, long-term storytelling, right?
Yeah.
And then, so Brock was having so Goldberg somehow got himself a Universal title match against Kevin Owens, right?
Out of nowhere. Yeah. This is another thing.
Which then, behind the scenes, personally, I think Brock politics for it because he's like, well, I want to beat him at WrestleMania, so if he has a title, good, right?
Yeah. I don't think Brock. I think it was one of those weird Vince McMahon things, like, you know what, made this match even better. A title. Well,
maybe. So his match with Kevin Owens kind of promo saying, but Goldberg, see, he don't have a long match. He can't have long matches.
Yeah.
If I drag this match over 10 minutes, he's finished. He's done. He's dusted. Right. Yeah. Little did we know, this match will last 22 seconds because Kevin Owens comes to the ring, Goldberg comes to the ring. Introductions happen. Jericho's music plays. Kevin Owens looks at Jericho
after the whole when he got rid of Jericho, innit? Friendship. Yeah.
He looks at Jericho, looks at Goldberg, spear, jackhammer, done.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we head to WrestleMania match. Goldberg, one of Goldberg's best matches.
Yeah.
Suplex City versus the spear, right?
Yeah. Spam moves, yeah.
Yeah, but as a 5-minute match, these boys were like, let's just go for it.
Yeah.
You do your moves, I'll do my moves. We'll do a total of 4 moves.
Yep.
In this match, No, we do our 2 signatures, which German suplex, spear.
Yep.
And then we do our finishes. and then
Brock wins, which makes sense.
Yeah.
He's still a young man.
But I really like this match. I've watched it multiple times. I'm like, they get the crowd like exactly what they need the reactions for. They do the bits that look good. They hit hard and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then when Brock leapfrogs the first of all, they get in the grapple and Brock gives them a German suplex. Then out the camera angle is focused on Brock, right?
Yeah.
Doing the shouting at the crowd.
Yeah.
And then as he turns, Goldberg spears him out of nowhere. But if you're watching the arena, you can see the entire setup. But just with the camera caught, like Goldberg just rush into the screen.
Yeah.
And then like when Brock leapfrog the spear, and then he takes Goldberg to Suplex City, like 10. He had the crowd count with him.
Yeah.
It was like 10, was it?
I think it was 10,
yeah. And then he gave him F5, and then that was that. And I was like, okay. I mean, Roman did kick out of 4 of those. On WrestleMania ago, but
but Roman's like 20 years younger. But yeah.
No, wait, that's
I mean.
I see. They try to make the F5 look more potent.
Yeah.
The problem is, you already made the guy kick out multiple ones of them, and then later on, when I have another match, he's kicking out 7 of them, or 6 of them.
Yeah.
So whatever you try to do in between that period of time where he has the 2 Roman matches, it just the F5 still doesn't look as good as what it's supposed to be.
Should be, yeah.
Anyways, and then we don't see Goldberg for.
I think it's like 2 years or a year.
No. Sorry, no. Is it 2 years?
I think so.
2 years?
No, because he has that. Wait, he had a match with Dolph, but I can't remember if that's before.
Well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna.
Was that before?
Is it really a match? It was at SummerSlam, but was it really a match? He speared him.
Yeah, like 12 times.
I think he gave Goldberg a super kick, and then Goldberg spear jackhammered him.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if the one person that's just gonna sell for you is Dolph,
yeah,
you could
have done a lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's known for just making everyone look good. So whether or even you go to throw punches or whatever, right? This man could carry the match for you.
Yeah, literally.
Of all people,
he could wrestle himself, and he will make you look good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been a year. Wait.
Was it a year?
Oh, wait 1 second. Let me quickly check that.
Yeah.
So. Alright, so Survivor Series Rumble.
Yeah.
Oh
no! Yeah. We got a timeline. Did we get a timeline mixed up?
No, we were right. Because the Royal Rumble.
No, because he has a match with Undertaker.
That's later on. I think that's like.
Is that later on?
I think that's like 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is 20. Because right now we're in 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because 2018 he gets put into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And that's the same year when he has the match with Undertaker.
Yeah.
No, he has a match with Undertaker in 2019. Sorry. Showdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. No, the Dolph match is after that. After the Super Showdown match. All right, never mind.
So I did not want to watch. I heard what happened in this match. I didn't watch Super Showdown because I don't know how it was going to end up, right? But I wasn't interested in the entire event, to be honest, right? But then I was like, what I was hearing was the match. I was like, I don't think I want to watch it. I watched it years later, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
It was more. I was curious to see how you don't want to see anyone actually hurt or something. No. But that jackhammer nearly was a brainbuster, and he actually finished the Undertaker.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
This, I believe, Yeah. Okay, say you're in the American football locker room, you got a helmet, and you're headbutting the locker, yeah?
Yeah.
Fair enough, you got a helmet to protect you, but if it's like Goldberg, you're just gonna bash your bare head against the lockers.
Yeah.
How often? The odds are you're gonna hurt yourself,
Yeah. It was dumb.
Yeah. So I think he came in with a concussion, kind of.
He came in really dainty,
yeah. And then he speared the lamppost, which didn't help.
No.
And then he just went to shambles.
Yeah. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that match. I was like, oh, my brain hurts.
Yeah, and he couldn't get himself up for a tombstone or anything like that.
Yeah.
So Undertaker had to finish him with a chokeslam, but Undertaker, for his own safety, should have just rolled him into the Hell's Gate.
Yeah. Which would be easier, but then you never know. He might not be able to hold himself up with the Hell's Gate. Who knows? But
yeah. Okay.
But then I realised he gave him a chokeslam, right? Dude's concussed. You give him a chokeslam. That's not really helping.
Exactly what I'm saying. He should have probably just given him the Hell's Gate. It's just like, because that's much safer.
Yeah. That's kind of like that when Moxley got concussed not long ago, and then Phoenix gave him that muscle driver. Like,
yeah. Like, well, you can drop a guy in his head for.
You really gave concussed? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, wrestling. So yeah, the
Dolph match, which wasn't really a match, but it was, I mean,
the only cool thing was from that match, when I remember correctly, was Dolph saying, "Yes, hit me one more time, you son of a bitch," and then he gets speared again. I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah. And then this is where Goldberg defeats the Fiend for the. What did you think of the match itself?
What match?
The Fiend.
What match? It wasn't a match. It literally was. All right, I'm Fiend, Supernatural, the guy who, like a year ago or early this year. No, a couple of months ago when I beat Seth Rollins for the title, I was Horror Man and stuff. But Super Goldberg comes in, just spears me, and does a awkward looking jackhammer to beat me.
Yeah. I think it was the match essentially from what I remember was Mandible Claw.
Yeah.
Spear Jackhammer.
Yeah. Literally, that was it.
Yeah.
And
yeah. But Goldberg says that's not. The rumors of him saying that I should defeat the Fiend because I'm the superhero of it.
Yeah.
That's not true. He was saying that was what the higher ups booked, and when you look at it from an overhead point of view,
yeah, I believe it.
He hasn't got the power to tell the people he can't tell people what to do.
No.
If they book it.
Yeah. That's what I was like. I don't really believe that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's probably the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
In the middle, yeah. I reckon he might.
I mean, but I can say, so he probably Goldberg probably cannot put his foot down and say, "No, I'm not going to do the job."
Yeah, no, you can't do that. No.
Yeah.
But I can see him maybe saying, "Oh, maybe I should win." But like,
I don't know if he has the power to.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't think it was like him saying, "Yeah, no, I need to win." I mean, like, if someone said to him, "Oh, we think you should go over," he's not gonna say, "Oh no, I don't think I should," is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, someone like Daniel Bryan Danielson would.
Yeah, someone like that.
I want to win that title. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but like, and then he was Universal Champion, and then they were setting up him versus Roman at WrestleMania, and lucky for us, this sounds really bad. Pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And which threw lots of things into a weird place. Like
Roman for his own safety went into isolation, and then we got the replacement match of the Monster Moment, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg. Yeah. You ain't nothing. He's talking like he's an 80s bully.
Yeah.
It's like, no, man. Sure. Yeah. Trash. Like, wow. Okay. Then, but running power slams to Goldberg. I'm like, of all people, but okay.
Yeah,
fine,
I get it. Whatever, sure. Yeah. And then Braun had that belt for like 2 months and lost it back to the Fiend. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Fiend lost it to Roman. But anyway.
Yeah.
And then Goldberg disappeared for a bit.
Yep. Came back when Drew McIntyre was champion.
Yeah.
Cut a promo that Drew never had a chance to cut. So
yeah.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah.
And I think it was time constraints on the Raw, but Goldberg didn't have time. They didn't have time to re-prep him, or he's supposed to go out there and readjust his promo, which he never did.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay,
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Yeah, and then he had the match with Drew McIntyre, which was Claymore.
Yep. Claymore.
Yeah. Which, okay, I thought it worked with the Brock match. I don't know if I would say it worked in any of these subsequent matches. The thing is, they tried to take the same formula and thought, because this works with this guy's limitations, let's keep on doing it. But that's not the case.
No. But at least with Brock...
It worked with Brock because he had the aura as well.
Yeah, and they had this sort of personal history behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the Drew McIntyre one, if this match would be fine to me, if this was like Goldberg's last match. Like, basically Drew putting him out to pasture, like, give him a send off. Yeah. Like the new manly man is in the building. But then he stuck around for a bit, and then Drew lost the title to Lashley, and then Goldberg had a feud with Lashley, which was super weird and like
where Goldberg had a leg injury or something like that. So then they had to call off. So they had the match which was terrible, wasn't it?
The one good thing about the lead up to this match and stuff like that was it was a point where there was I think Hurt Business was beating up Goldberg or whatever, and then Goldberg's son came into the ring. And then Lashley just put him into the Hurt Lock, and then realized, oh snap, I've got a child with Hurt Lock. I just dropped him, and I was like, that's the best. And that's when like Goldberg's like, I'm gonna kill you, and then Lashley murdered him.
Yeah, well, no, they had the out that Goldberg had got his ankle injured or whatever. Yeah. So Bobby Lashley kind of won that match with a doctor stoppage.
Yeah,
which wasn't that great to begin with, anyway. So it was a little, but then they had a rematch which Lashley lost because.
Yeah, you had to go.
Why not? He didn't have the title at that point. So,
yeah, so it was alright. Okay, we get around it, I guess. Yeah. And then they had one more match, if I remember correctly, and it was like a no holds bar match. Yeah, and I think that's one you're talking about. Yes, when Lashley,
yeah. And then Goldberg's final match, which was the rematch, the match that we got, that we should have seen at WrestleMania when it was going to be versus Roman Reigns. However, I think this match, it wouldn't have been laid out this. This match was more about, I'm going to get him in the guillotine and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if it was at WrestleMania and their planned match and Goldberg had the title, I think it would have been more spear.
Yeah, because they was kind of building that as the Battle of the Spears, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So Goldberg got him in. Roman Reigns won because of the guillotine choke. Though I will say this, right? And it was a very slow match. Yeah. But I'm thinking if this was a WrestleMania match, they would have been spearing each other, and then eventually Roman would have caught him in the guillotine from the spear.
But I don't know if he would have, because that's when Roman wasn't using the guillotine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then he would have won. Then in that case, it would have been a harder hitting, faster match.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was, it wasn't a long match, but it just felt long because of how the pace they were going at.
Yeah. Because that's when, if I remember correctly, that's before he became tribal chief and started using guillotine. That's when he was still like, I'm the big dog.
No, yeah. He was using the guillotine. He was building the guillotine here because he won by with.
No, I'm talking about if they had that. WrestleMania.
If it was already, yeah. Where he was still quote unquote face, but you know.
I'm the big dog.
Look, I want to say, Goldberg had an explosive career at the beginning, right?
Yeah. And
then I think he should have ended it with the final Brock match that he had, and that would have been that.
Yeah.
All these other matches, like, he doesn't do anything in them.
No.
Even if you take into account his age, he's just going in there, smashing people, but it's just like, who you helping, you know?
There was no character. That's like legit. Like he had no character.
Yeah.
And like, there's only so much you can like follow someone who has no character. If you're like, why do I care? You know
I think as well because he's got very limited moveset.
Yep.
Even though he had a bigger moveset back in WCW. Early in his career.
Yeah.
But now it just relies on the same couple of moves. It doesn't. It's not much excitement. How do you choreograph around it?
Yeah.
You know?
Can't. Yeah.
To be fair, Brock does the same, but
Brock's more of a spectacle, like because Brock can do more.
Yeah.
And he busts that out every now and then. Oh wow, Brock's actually great. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Goldberg had the amateur wrestling ability to begin with, anyways.
Yeah.
And he wasn't exactly trained the most proficient way.
Because like, look at Brock. He was in like OVW for like 2 or 3 years, wasn't he? Before he, came up. So.
I will say, I think Goldberg had a very good career for a person of his ability. Now that sounds like a backhand compliment, but what I mean is you know what? When you put that, he looked the part, right?
Yeah.
And he got his money. He made his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was believable when he come in there to spear jackhammer.
Yeah.
You know? But I think he should have been capable of more extended matches and stuff like that. But
like, I'll say for Brock, not Brock, sorry, Goldberg. He did what you're meant to do in wrestling: make as much money as you can and go. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't fail. It's not like he did all this stuff and didn't make nothing out of it. He made he probably didn't have to work ever again, sort of thing. You know what I mean? He made enough money from it. He still notable.
So he probably made quite a bit of bank on his first however many years he was in WCW.
Yeah.
2-3 years.
Yeah.
Probably made a decent amount for that 2003-2004 run.
Yeah.
And then getting paid buckets to come back.
Yeah.
Every so often for like
5 years. Mm.
Yeah. And 5 minutes, and the longest match he had was like 9 minutes long.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and he had a 9-minute match with The Undertaker, 6-minute match with Roman Reigns, I think, 6-minute match with Athena, I think, and a 5-minute match with Brock.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the length of the matches,
Yeah.
And then look at everyone else he destroyed. So
yeah. So I'm not a Goldberg hater. I'm not a Goldberg's supporter. Yeah, he entertained me. He did what he had to do.
Yeah. Same here. I think the gimmick of being invisible kind of worked against him.
Yeah.
But also unable to follow, like extend his ring ability.
Yeah.
Also hurt him because Asuka, like we were saying before, she was having lengthy matches.
Yeah.
She had an undefeated streak longer than him, but she had lengthy matches, and she made the people look as good as she could.
Yeah.
And you knew she was very capable.
And she had a character, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all Goldberg.
And she couldn't even speak English.
Yeah, exactly. All Goldberg sort of thing was who's next.
Yeah.
That's a cool catchphrase and everything, but you told me stuff before that rather than.
And then there was a little botch on the interview where not a little botch, but where it didn't make sense. Where Mean Gene was like, "Goldberg, you're asking who's next, but shouldn't the question be who's left?" And then Goldberg goes, "No, the question, Mean Gene, is who's next." Right.
He helped you there. You know what I mean? Like he legit helped you there, but sure, dude. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, like you say, right. Trying to be as like I'm not one way or the other thing. Like it's just more of the things like what he came to do, he did.
Yeah.
And when he was in the ring with specific people, who's better than some being in the ring with other people, right?
Yeah.
He could go with certain people, and then he kind of was normalized with other people.
Yeah.
So he did good for him.
Yeah, you're good for him. Yeah.
Yeah. He made his money, like you said. He and he built that aura around him. It worked for him walking in there destroying people because he came across as like someone who would. He looked the part. He came like with the intensity of the part, and when he did his moves, he had enough oomph in it.
Yeah.
How much legitimacy was behind the moves is a different question, but yeah, he looked like he dealt those moves with venom.
Yeah. And like and he left with very few enemies, you know, his only enemy really is like Bret Hart. But like and then we don't know how legit that is, but you know. I think like you say his character's a bit stiff. Yeah.
Because
there was no character.
How much can you work with that sort of persona where you don't like Rock could do all sorts of craziness and you accept it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Goldberg, he just seems like I have to be kind of the straight man. I can't really do comedy.
Yeah. But that was the kind of thing when you build something to be like super like invincible and stuff like that. It's hard to like sort of humanize their character after that. Like when he came back later on, like through his end of the WWE run. Because he was like older and that stuff, he kind of naturally humanized himself. Like so he had a bit of character development there, but before that, it's like, what do you sort of? Yeah,
like we seeing now with Okada, where the presentation is I can destroy people, but I'm a goofball actually.
Sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think Goldberg could do the switch like that with like Okada can because he's just like. He probably seems more naturally funny than they present him. Yeah. And he's joined AEW and he's like, "Come on, boys, just let me be funny, man."
And because there's lots of things with, like I think Yano or someone has like a whole like video series of him trying to make Okada laugh, and it's like quite funny.
Yeah.
So you know he's funny, but like how they Goldberg, you don't really. He could be funniest guy we ever know, like if you know him like in real life, but because of how they built him up, it's like I don't know if he's funny. He can't be funny. He's Robot Man, you know.
Yeah. I think that's I mean, yeah. That's that will close up because I feel like the more we say, the more we're trying to knock the guy. We're not. We're trying to give him his props as well.
Yeah.
So that'll close us up on the career of Goldberg. An extended career. Well, actually, no. You know what? It's probably what? How long would you say his career was?
In total, probably like if you like getting rid of all the breaks and stuff. Yeah. So, say 3 or 4 years in WCW, a year in WWE, so that's 5, and then another, say 3 years in WWE when he came back.
Yeah.
So 8-year career. Yeah, it's not bad.
No, yeah. Well, you know,
career for like 20 years, but yeah, it's not bad.
With like I mean, if you add up all his WWE match time totals,
it's probably less than that. Yeah. So, but yeah, he entertained me sometimes.
I think his entire 3 year was less than his entire match run of his 1 year the first time around.
And like, I'll go if I'll say this, like, I would say I prefer Goldberg character-wise and wrestling-wise more than I prefer someone who people hold very dear in their heart, and I just don't care for this person whatsoever.
Yeah,
Hulk Hogan.
that. Okay.
Like, that's me personally. Like,
Yeah.
All right, they both sort of had the whole thing. I'm not gonna go on about it. It's like sort of like they're invincible sort of thing, but one was more like organically Goldberg, and rather than Hogan's like was organic for a point and then just manufactured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I find that slightly more entertaining. Goldberg one. Yeah. You weren't fighting people called the Final Solution, which. So yeah, you know. And the
especially since he's Jewish as well.
Yes. Good.
Do you reckon Goldberg had a better on-screen career than he did have his wrestling career?
Oh, like film-wise?
Yeah. Well, was his films better than his wrestling career in total?
No, probably. Actually, no, yeah, because that Evil Santa film's pretty fun. So
I haven't seen it. Santa's Slay. I have seen Universal Soldier Return, and he was alright in that.
Alright, no,
I could have watched Santa's Slay at one point.
Yeah, that's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Okay, I trust you. I trust your judgment on that.
Yeah, it's not better than Steve Austin in The Condemned, but you know.
Oh,
I'm not being.
Santino Marella's how he puts out a cigarette with the ankle like the foot twist.
Yeah, so man, Goldberg. Yeah, I enjoy him.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that'll be us signing off.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the man who headbutts lockers to knock myself out before the match that because I love concussions apparently. CY
And I'm the man who didn't like someone because he said bad things about me on the internet. Gosh, that's half true. I don't know how true that is with the Goldberg thing. And thank you for listening to us discuss the career of the man Goldberg. Also, while you're here, if you're listening to this or on the audio side of stuff, don't forget to give us a 5-star review, leave a comment, subscribe. If you watch this on the YouTube channel, hi, and don't forget to sub, give us a like. Thank you for watching on our YouTube shorts. We've got quite good reviews on them. I'll tell you about that later. And thanks for getting us our subscriber count's gone up quite a lot, so thank you for that as well. Tell a friend, it's great. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. It's up there as well on the top of the screen with my fingers you can't see. And don't forget to also check out our YouTube channel as well. Part 6 of Spider-Man should be coming out soon. And yeah, until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye.
Bye.
Bum, bum, bum. Dun. Goldberg's great. Is he? He should rap.
Oh, well.
Sorry, I don't know what I was